Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's discussion. It's your host Wheelie. I haven't done one of these for quite some time, actually. I think I've done the last time I did a stream of any kind was about a month ago. Here on this channel, back in my apartment. It's got a few more decorations and feels a bit more homely here now since the last time I did this. But yeah, so this is going to be very free form, I think, depending on how many people we have in the chat and some of the discussion that we get tonight. I know this is certainly a very hotly debated topic, and it really feels like a pivotal moment, sort of in the modern history of football. Not just for, as what we'll get on to, my club Liverpool, but for sort of all the major clubs here in England and across Europe. Because I was sat down to watch the Man United and versus Burnley game, and halfway through, the host on Sky, I never remember his name. Him and he turns to the camera and he says, "Breaking news." And I think what he then said is something that worries a lot of football fans and should worry all football fans. And he said basically that the European the big six teams in England had agreed on sitting down and had agreed on a letter basically saying that, yes, we're absolutely fine with forming a European Super League, and that it would be, and that they had got the backing from the top league, the top three teams in Spain, and they had got the top three teams from Italy to come together, and that they had agreed to form this Super League, and that, this is it. This is how they envision football going forward. And it does just feel like an absolute sucker punch. We've heard about this for years, this idea of a European Super League, probably being bandied around and talked about for about not 10 years, probably about 5 years. We've been hearing this on and off. We've been seeing rumors about it. In fact, actually, I went ahead and started going back to see where everything sort of pops up with where everything pops up with with the timeline for this. Hang on, bear with me, guys. I just wanna share this link so that we can get people in on the conversations, because this thing is going to be very, 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 very hotly debated. Yes, you did. My co-host is in the chat tonight. Good evening, Aaron. It's good to have you here. Yes, so I went back and I found this sort of timeline, going back some years, talking about how a European Super League would work, by the people proposing. I of course, am not defending this. It was on the BBC, actually. It says here, from the archive, and they released, in this video, originally published in February of 2019, BBC Sport explores the issue of a potential European Super League. Could it ever become a reality? Do Europe's top clubs want to form one, and would fans be in favor of it happening? So that's that. I saw a clip earlier today that we saw a clip of Louis van Gaal actually on YouTube. It was this is, oh my gosh, this is going back some years. Speaking in 2016, Louis van Gaal, whilst Man United manager, hit out at plans at a proposed European Super League. The Manchester United manager also called for the Champions League to revert back to being only open to champions. This is unbelievable. You know,
yeah, absolutely.
We've had Gary Neville losing his mind over it. I totally support him on that. He's a Liverpool fan. He's a Man United fan, and as a Liverpool fan, I should absolutely despise agreeing with him on anything. But he has spent. He basically has just come out and absolutely nailed it. He said it's a betrayal of the fans. It's this sort of the timing's not right. It just flies in the face of the history of the entire it flies in the face of English history, the English football's history. It flies in the face of those top 6 clubs' history. It undermines the entire football pyramid itself. That you've been fighting for about 150 years. Because now you're in a time of pandemic, when there's a huge financial crisis, you're talking about a small group of teams trying to break away and make even more money at a time where people have none. Clubs are going into liquidation. Clubs aren't sure if they're going to come out of administration. All of this stuff, and it's arrogant, and it's rude, and it's just abhorrent, really. So yes, Bust Insider says we should cancel the whole thing. At least my team didn't register. Hi, Bust Insider. I've never met you before. What team do you support? I'm guessing by the names, the fact that your team didn't register and the teams that we know haven't, you're either a PSG fan or a Bayern Munich fan or a Dortmund fan or a Leipzig fan. Right? Anyway, whilst we wait for a response from him, yes, Aaron, I don't care if we have to stay out until 2 a.m. tonight. And this is it, right? I think this is the beginning of what has to become a wider movement within football, about oversight, about third parties being able to determine whether ownership structures are fit for purpose, and not just do it like the RFA does it, but do it on a more holistic scale. So do it European wide. Talk about their actual the history, talk about what it means for the wider context and the future of the sport itself, because actually this would end up turning football into a franchise model, sort of like the NFL, where there's no promotion, no relegation. You would probably have certain you'd have certain almost provincial leagues. So let's go through the actual statements and some of the breaking news word by word, and we'll go through the official statements, because there's been a lot of really intense language used. I think a lot of it's really right. And yeah, I think it's important for this video to at least for us to at least address some of these major issues, the language and things like that, to just understand the scope of this, what it means for all of our teams, for teams that maybe aren't our teams but are hurt or helped or whatever by its relationship to our clubs. So let's start here. This is it here. Yeah. It's on the BBC. European Super League, UEFA and Premier League condemns 12 major clubs signing up for breakaway plans. Let me put this in the chat for all of you guys. This is the link to the BBC article for all of those that want to access it. Yeah. And then this is the video from February of 2019. So, okay, here we go. So, article here says, UEFA, the Premier League, and the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson have condemned 12 major European clubs, including the Big Six from England, signing up to a breakaway European Super League. Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Tottenham are all part of the group. La Liga's Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, and Real Madrid, with Serie A's AC Milan, Inter Milan, and Juventus are all involved. So that's sort of the breaking news. And then it came out after this. UEFA said it would use all measures possible to stop the cynical project. I agree. Senior figures at European's governing body are furious about the proposals. Bear with me, guys. I have some problems with my throat, so I'll be drinking some Coke. And as this goes on, we'll probably get a lot more strained, so I've pulled out the beer. Right, let me carry on. None of the clubs involved have commented yet, but it is thought a statement is likely to be released later on Sunday. I was made aware that it was going to be 9:30. I haven't found that statement yet, but I will have a look whilst we're online. Johnson said the plans would be very damaging for football and that the UK government supports the sports authorities in taking action. He said the clubs involved must answer to their fans and the wider footballing community before taking any further steps. The European Clubs Association, the ECA, which represents Europe's clubs, held an emergency meeting on Sunday in the wake of these reports. BBC Sports understands that none of the clubs mentioned in the Super League reports responded to a request to attend the meeting. The meeting was chaired by Ajax chief Edwin van der Sar. Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain were among the clubs who were present. The ECA said it would be strongly opposed to a closed Super League model. It is instead pushed for plans for an expanded Champions League for 36 teams, which UEFA had hoped would head off the formation of a Super League. The Champions League reforms are set to be confirmed on Monday. So literally, we're hours away from this, and these teams have put out this notice. BBC Sport was told last week of plans for some sort of confirmation about a European Super League. UEFA released a joint statement together with England's Football Association, the Premier League, the Spanish Football Federation, the RFF, La Liga, and the Italian Football Federation, FIGC, as well as Serie A on Sunday. They said they will remain united in trying to stop the breakaway, using both judicial and sporting measures if required. They also reiterated FIFA's stance that players taking part in the Super League would be banned from all other competitions at domestic, European, or world level and could be prevented from representing the national teams. In a separate statement, the Premier League and said it condemned the proposal as attacks on the principles of open competition and sporting merit, which are at the heart of domestic and European football. Now, of course, this isn't the first time we've heard of this. So from the same article, it refers back to October. Details on how the breakaway league would work are scarce, but there were talks in October over a new 4.6 billion competition that would involve replacing the Champions League. It would likely be a members-only concept, where many of Europe's richest clubs would have guaranteed entry without the threat of relegation or the possibility of failing to qualify. The threat of forming a European Super League could also be a handy tool for big clubs to use in their negotiations with FIFA for a better deal. Cultural Secretary Oliver Dowden said in a statement that the government is concerned this plan could create a closed shop at the very top of our national game. He added, "We have a football pyramid where funds from the globally successful Premier League flow down the leagues and into local communities." He said, "I would be bitterly disappointed to see if any action that destroys that." Keir Starmer, Labour, hopefully caretaker leader, said the clubs involved should immediately rethink or face the consequences of their actions. The proposal risks shutting the door on fans for good, reducing them to mere spectators and consumers. Juventus owner Andrea Agnelli, Manchester United executive vice chairman Edward Wood, and AC Milan chief executive Ivan Gazidis would have all had significant input into the Champions League discussion on Friday. However, those clubs are also among those who have broken ranks. To the fury of UEFA, whose president Alexander Ceferin wanted to stave off a Super League threat. The Premier League then released a statement saying that a European Super League would destroy the dreams of fans that their team may climb to the top and play against the best. It added that such a league would undermine the appeal of the whole game and that they would work with the FA, the English Football League, the PFA, the LMA, or the League Managers Association, and fans to defend the integrity and future prospects of English football. The FA said it would not provide permission to any competition that would be damaging to English football and would take any legal or regulatory action needed to stop it. Bundesliga sides are opposed to the plans because the German model means commercial investors cannot have more than a 49% in clubs, so fans hold a majority of their own voting rights. PSG are also not part of this group. UEFA said it thanked those clubs in other countries, especially the French and German clubs, who refused to sign up to the breakaway league. Starting to lose my voice here. Oh. Let's go into the comments because exactly. You wouldn't have a Leicester City miracle where they win the Premier League and then go up into the Champions League. At the moment, there doesn't seem to be a governing body for this league. Yeah. I just wanted to finish off this article quickly because it's really long and my voice doesn't hold out for very long. But So guys, if I go quiet at any time tonight, I want you to be able to carry on the discussion in the comments and in the chat, because I the way that my disability works is it affects my voice. Right. So it says, UEFA said we call on all lovers of football, supporters, and politicians to join us in fighting against such a project if it was to be announced. This persistent self-interest of a few has been going on for far too long. Enough is enough. At this moment, it's very unclear about when this European Super League would start. However, world governing body FIFA has already said it would not recognize such a competition, and any players involved with it would be denied the chance to play at the World Cup. So you can see how big this is. Serie A has called an emergency board meeting to discuss it. The FSA has said it's motivated by nothing but cynical greed. It added, the competition is being created behind our backs by billionaire club owners who have zero regard for this game's traditions and continue to treat football as their personal fiefdom. The PFA said it had substantial concerns about the proposal, adding it would detract from the strength and joy of domestic football and diminish the game for the vast majority of fans across the continent. Emmanuel Macron said that he welcomes the position of French clubs who refuse to participate. He said the French state would support all steps taken by the LFP, or the professional league governing body in France, and the France's Football Association, the FFF, UEFA, and FIFA to protect the integrity of federal competitions. It has been agreed that a new look Champions League would involve an initial phase where every club plays 10 matches rather than the current group phase. In addition, there would be playoffs followed by a knockout phase. Yeah, so then let's go on to some of the coverage. Yeah. So Sky, for as much as I loathe them, came out and many members on there started commenting. Former Manchester United captain Gary Neville said he was absolutely disgusted by the plans. He said, "I'm a Manchester United fan and have been for 40 years." He said it's an absolute disgrace. He said, "Honestly, we have to wrestle back the power in this country from the clubs at the top of this league, and that includes my club." The former England defender said that the 6 clubs involved should be docked points and fined. "It's pure greed," Neville said. The club's owners are imposters. They have nothing to do with football in this country, and there's 100 odd years of history here, and in this country of fans who have lived and loved these clubs. We're in the middle of a national pandemic and an economic crisis. Football clubs, as I already mentioned, are in the semi-professional, in the National League are going bust, furloughing players, and these lot are having Zoom calls about breaking away. He finished by saying, "Dot them all points tomorrow, put them at the bottom of the league, and take the money off them. Seriously, you have to stamp out this." And, you know, I don't think anyone really can disagree with this. Why? It's me, trustiest club says, "Not gonna lie, mate, I want to do it, but I'll miss the Merseyside derbies." Wait, why do you want this European Super League? It'll be interesting to get your perspective. Because I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like the most boring thing in the world. After week 1, once you've already had your game against Real Madrid, who where it's so expensive that the fans can't actually go, then what? Once you play that 5 times over and you've lost all the meaning of what those games mean, then what? So, you know, I wish there was a way that I could share and show some videos on here. I don't know if that's actually possible. Yeah. Let's dip into let's in a group chat that I'm in, someone called ASG Paradise says F Gary Neville just because he owns Salford. But even like Salford, like they look, if he's calling out Man United for this, he wouldn't want Salford, you know, he doesn't own Salford. He has a part stake in it. Oh, wait. Who's well, Arginal's the one attacking Gary Neville, is he? I mean, this is the thing that I really don't want to see happen, right? And Aaron, I need your participation. I need your current comments, mate. I need your opinion. And you know, maybe I'll get you on a call here in a minute, so you can take over for a minute. But like this is just this tweet here. I know it's a joke, right? And this person is like having a laugh at this, but in a way that this what I'm about to read is indicative of the comedic nature of this idea, this breakaway league that's not thought out, that's not considered, that doesn't speak to the everyday fan, the average fan, doesn't understand the lives of working class people who put a lot of effort in and have a part of their soul invested in these clubs. Someone put in a chat here said, it's a tweet. It says Super League should have stories like the WWE, and then someone in the comment said, "Oh wow, is he? Wow, he's making okay." So apparently, the comments are saying that Boris is going to make a statement at 11:30. So, guys, can someone? I thought that there was a statement going to be released by these clubs at 9:30. Am I wrong with that? Anyway, this tweet says, it's not that crazy if you think about it. Less teams, so you've got to find a way to make it interesting. They're the ones saying they want an American model. Imagine Inter is winning a crucial game, and then Pioli and Zlatan come in with steel chairs and injure Conte and Lukaku. Now, that is quite funny if it wasn't so desperately serious as to affect, our everyday enjoyment of the game, right? So, we've lived the last year in this pandemic, and we've not been able to go to the games. We've not been able to sit in the stands. We've not been able to cheer on our teams. We've not been able to try and lift up our players because of the fact that we can't get into the stadium. And what we've noticed is obviously we've had fake crowd noise to try and make up for it. We've had, depending on which team it was, we had like virtual fans watching on a Zoom call. And it's felt incredibly soulless. In fact, actually, I found it very, very hard to enjoy numerous games, both in the Premier League and in the Champions League in particular. And actually, I'm not just saying this because Liverpool have had a crap season, but it's not felt the same. None of it's felt the same. And what we will have because of this breakaway league, if it goes ahead, we can't all. Right. In England, most fans can't even afford to go home and away every game, every week, just within this country. So going abroad, it's going to be near on impossible. People are just going to give up. So what are you going to have? You're going to have only the fans from those countries, or you're going to have the expats from England that live in those countries, or what? No one? I mean, you might have the locals, but depending on how the closed nature of this league, ticket prices are going to go sky high just to keep the money circulating within the parameters of that league because it's so closed off. And that commercial money won't always go all the way around. So what are you going to have if you start playing games in like high profile venues in like Malaysia or Dubai? Are locals really going to be able to afford that? So again, this is what happens. You'll end up creating a scenario where fundamentally you have normal fans who would really want to be at those games, can't go, or are priced out, or are physically incapable of traveling to the other side of Europe. And then we just become dummies. Like we're just stuck at home. And we will lose that social element of football. We won't be able to cheer as Trent scores a free kick or Mason Mount sets up a header at the far post. You just wouldn't have it. And that's what we risk here. Let's go into the group chat. Close the door now. Don't know who that is. It says Bun Europe. I think I don't know what Bun Europe means. I think that means just forget about it. Close the door says Boris Johnson's making an announcement at 11:30. They've then said this means war in the Premier League, and it does. It's the clearest sign of intent that I think we've ever seen. Brian Munchen says against it, but I don't agree with what UEFA is trying to do with the new format of the Champions League. If I'm honest, I don't really know enough about it. I thought it was just an extra round of group games, but if I'm wrong, please correct me. No. They would be ejected from their normal leagues. And yeah, it's good to see the governing bodies all come out now, because it's at this point, regardless of the ownerships of these clubs, the players are not going to stand for it if they can't play for their own country, or if they can't play at World Cups, which is basically the highest point that they've ever wanted to get to. You know? Yeah. And the whole point, Aaron says here, the whole point is to qualify to play in Europe on merit. And you're right. Fundamentally, it's wrong that these clubs would be buying their way in to this league based on reputation and money and income stream. Shubir Sunil says, pathetic decision, don't go ahead with it. Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, Aaron. Aaron says, coincidence, it's not a coincidence that Man United, Liverpool, and Arsenal are all owned by Americans. Yeah. Don't forget, also, Manchester City are in on this as well. And they are, you know, obviously these are wealthy families, who only themselves only have, a position of power based on a sort of a hereditary money-based, family-based structure to things, where certain people from one group say that the next person can take over, like a mafia family set up almost. And this is what it feels like. It feels like, you know, it feels like the mafia, and that probably to get into this league, you would have to go to whatever governing body they try and set up on their own and beg, like you are pleading with Don Corleone. Like, that's what it feels like. At the end of it, it's money and power, but I question what UEFA and domestic football associations have done to help smaller clubs. Well, actually, in Germany, well, no, hang on. In this country, we do have a pyramid structure, and whether we like it or not, there is some money that does go down to the grassroots, and goes into the women's game and things like that. So, yeah, they do something, even if we don't think it's enough. Let me get up. Right. So the FA spokesman said, so this is, now I'm reading an official statement from, yeah, no, FFP actually isn't anymore, and they're I think they're scrapping FFP, aren't they? Wasn't there a conversation about that? Oh, I've just realised I actually can't play any audio from any of these clips because it would infringe on copyright laws. So yes, I can't do that. So let's go to the FA. The FA has been made. This is the FA statement from the FA. It says the FA has been made aware of certain English clubs planning to form a closed European Super League with other European clubs. It's clear that this would be damaging to English and European football at all levels and will attack the principles of open competition and sporting merit, which are fundamental to competitive sport. For new competitions to be formed involving clubs from different associations, approval will be required from the relevant national associations, confederations and or FIFA. We would not provide permissions to any competition that would be damaging to English football and would take any legal and or regulatory action necessary to protect the broader interests of the game. We note FIFA confirmed earlier this year that they and the 6 confederations would not recognize any such competition, and as such, any player or club involved may not be permitted to participate in any official competition which fails to fall within the auspices of FIFA and their respective confederations. And then it continues. Let's have a look on Twitter to see if there are what updates have been happening. I mean, I'm at this point, I'm like, if these clubs do try and go ahead with it, I would happily have, and I think Aaron said it in the comments, if this is what it takes, I would rather have those top 6 teams have all their points taken away and made all, and make them end up in the bottom half of the table or relegate them or something like that. Because what they are doing is an affront to, it's an affront to the game, really. And they deserve to be punished for it. And I love my club. An insane amount. But if we allow them free reign to do whatever they want, we won't have a game left. And it's as much my duty as a Liverpool fan to call them out on it. Yeah. Wouldn't matter in back-to-back promos. Yeah, Aaron, I think, yeah. I mean, actually, even if, yeah. Yeah, I don't mind us being relegated or financially embargoed, because I think what would happen is, if that happened, I think our ownership would leave, or the fans would revolt in a way that would then remove our ownership. And for as much as I love FSG, and I think they've done so much for us with the buying of the players, and helping us win those titles, and making us giants again. It's like they are holding, they're holding a gun to English football's head, and that's not excusable. Well, I think we'd be able to keep all of the setup, because it's not like they can just take the buildings. But if we forced FSG to sell, then it might help us take a different course. Aaron says, have Carragher, Gerrard, and Jurgen as co-owners. I mean, that's an idea. I don't know how much wealth they would have personally in order for us to be actually functioning. Perhaps they could be like joint presidents or something. Let me bring up Twitter, because I want to see what the updates are on this. Because this story is just going to keep unfolding, and it's going to get brutal. It just is at the end of the day. I mean, you're very right, Aaron. It could be as a new project. I think it would be Oh, wow. Apparently, there's going to be a statement in 10 minutes. And that was 7 minutes ago. I'll be keeping an eye on Twitter here. I don't know how long this stream's going to go. I'm going to go until... Oh. Guys, we have an update. Oh my God. Guys. Official statement. 12 football clubs today jointly announced an agreement competition, the Super League. AC Milan, Arsenal, Atletico, Chelsea, Barcelona, Internazionale, or Inter Milan, Juventus, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Real Madrid, and Tottenham have all joined. Every club that joins the Super League will receive over 425 million just for accepting the invitation, according to the New York Times. I can't believe this. Dave O at Cop says, imagine this in 2023. We've won it one time. Oh man, this is just... Redman TV have come out and said there is no moral high ground here. It's money versus money, and who can make the most. They said, hopefully the Super League is a bluff. The common denominator in this is fans being screwed. And it's totally true. The whole Super League thing is a rubbish idea. And I guess we have to say that UEFA haven't helped themselves here at all. You know, with this whole revamping the Champions League idea and their weak handling this issue of racism and stuff. James Pearce. James Pearce has said he's has agreed with Gary Neville. He said it's grim, complete and utter greed, and there really won't be the money they anticipate in a closed shop that supporters don't want. And that's the thing. This thing would be dead within 5 years, I think. Fundamentally, what you've got is no one wants it, apart from literally the owners. And there's going to be no incentive for anyone. Like, you don't get promoted, you don't get relegated. There are no other competitions within it. So what? Like, you just have a league that means nothing for no one. Oh man, some of these Liverpool transfer accounts. Liverpool transfer room. Overall thoughts on the European Super League. It's been reported club will get over 307 million British pounds, just for accepting to take part on it. And they said, but worth it? Ugh. No. FIFA have said no. FIFA have said that they won't even acknowledge it. Gary Lineker says, since the Super League plot will die on its prosperous and avaricious ass. No, he's right. He's right. Brian is spot on here. Brian says this has happened because we have allowed the big clubs to get wealthy and just go ahead and poach the star players of teams that have a good season, like Ajax and Leicester.
Spy on Klopp 1906 says, goes without saying, but we will fight against all proposal for Liverpool to join the European Super League by all means necessary. Jonesy27 says, if LFC quit the Premier League to join an elitist European Super League, then I'm done. That's the club selling its soul. I want to see the club win English League titles above everything else. And what's everyone else's thoughts on this? Fuck! Oh my gosh, this is going to get really brutal. UEFA are preparing a 60 billion euro lawsuit against the European Super League's founding clubs, including Real Madrid. The lawsuit will include every single club participating in this league, including Liverpool as well. Fuck. That would end up liquidating this would liquidate all of these clubs. Gary Neville earlier, by the way, also said Liverpool are a disgrace. They, as FSG, pretend they are with the club, with You'll Never Walk Alone and all that. And that's the thing, you know. I would like to say that Liverpool are one of the probably the clubs that are most in touch with their fan base, and has a really good relationship with their fan base. But FSG are literally spitting in the face of our legacy here. And they do make us look bad. Like, I can't defend Liverpool on this. I would be really interested to see what the Liverpool players say, because I don't think they would want that. Brian Munchen says, by the way, that's a really smart name. A lot of clubs have been forced to become developing players. Become developing clubs where they develop players and for selling is prioritizing their ability to compete in Europe. I mean, that's what we've seen with Ajax. You know, fundamentally the top clubs in that the top clubs in Holland and stuff can't build up their teams. That's why, you know, we had that amazing team a few years ago with David Neres and Donny van der Beek and Tagliafico and all of that, and they got to like the semi-final of the Champions League, and then they got beat by Tottenham. But like, that's it. Like, they have these amazing players and an entire squad, and then in one summer they're all ripped apart again. Yeah, but Aaron, the thing is, in Holland, for example, the TV rights are not even a fifth of what the TV rights are in England. So Leicester actually didn't have to sell Vardy; they could hold on to him. But in Ajax's case, just to even keep going and to bring through the next level of academy players, they had to sell their big players. Oh my god. Guys. Guys, it would be immediate. This is unreal. Literally, we would... Jesus. Jesus, 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 Jesus. Jesus, Jesus. Right. So Juventus have come out and said... Juventus says the founding clubs will continue playing in their respective domestic competitions and that the founding clubs wish to implement the Super League project in agreement with FIFA and UEFA. That's reporting from James Horncastle. This is unreal, guys. Like, I'm losing my mind here. Oh my god. Guys, this just gets worse. This just gets worse. This just gets worse. This just gets worse. LFC in an official statement says Liverpool Football Club can confirm we have joined Europe's leading clubs in agreeing to form a new competition, the European Super League. Steve Hoare says, wonder where this goes next. I genuinely can't see teams competing in the ESL if it means getting kicked from their own domestic leagues. ESL being the European Super League. Will the Premier Leagues hold their nerve and boot clubs out? Will FIFA stop players involved playing for their national teams? They are suing, but apparently this is the statements that are now being released. The Super League intends to begin in August. August! Oh my god! 2 years earlier than it had initially been planned. Guy, we're never going to be able to see Liverpool again in the same way. Like, we can't... Right. Guys, do we want to hit... Right. Right, guys, can you respond to me and see... Do you guys want to know, apparently, how this entire thing's going to be funded? Do you want to know? Because, Aaron, you're going to love this. The Super League will be funded exclusively by participating clubs who will own shares in a private company. Clubs would be required to pay a 2 million entry fee, potentially rising up to 8 million. So you buy into it. It's literally like... Guys, okay, right. Thank God that I'm doing this stream right now. Because this, guys, this is what the Super League teams have said. Guys, bear with me. Leading European football clubs announce new Super League competition. 12 of Europe's leading football clubs have today come together to announce they have agreed to establish a new midweek competition, the Super League, governed by its founding clubs. AC Milan, Arsenal FC, Atletico de Madrid, Chelsea FC, FC Barcelona, FC Internazionale Milano, Inter Milan, Juventus FC, Liverpool FC, Manchester City, Manchester United, Real Madrid CF, and Tottenham Hotspur have all joined as founding clubs. It is expected that a further 3 clubs will join ahead of the inaugural season, which is intended to commence as soon as is practicable. Going forward, the founding clubs look forward to holding discussions with UEFA and FIFA to work together in partnership to deliver the best outcomes for this league and for football as a whole. Do you know what? If this keeps going ahead, I'm going to support a German team because they actually have an ownership model that means that the fans are in total control of what happens with their club. So the statement then continues. It says, the formation of the Super League comes at a time when the height of the global pandemic has accelerated the instability in existing European football economic model. Further, for a number of years, the founding clubs have had the objective of improving the quality and intensity of existing European competitions through each season, and of creating a format for top clubs and players to compete on a regular basis. The pandemic is, this is just awful. All of this just is awful. They say the pandemic has shown that a strategic vision and a sustainable commercial approach are required to enhance value and support for the benefit of the entire football league pyramid. Oh man. Guys, I'm just going to put the link in the chat. No, they haven't. No, they haven't joined. They haven't joined. Aaron, they haven't. Guys, I'm going to share this in the chat because I can't do this. I can't talk anymore. I'm losing my voice. Copy link to tweet. Guys, here's the full statement. Can you all just go ahead and read that? Because at the end it has a picture of how the format would work. Wow. Apparently, the 12 participating clubs with 15 founding clubs and a qualifying mechanism for a further 5 teams to qualify annually based on achievements in the prior season. Midweek fixtures with all participating clubs continue to compete in their respective national leagues, preserving the traditional domestic match calendar, which remains at the heart of club football, at the club game. And August start with clubs participating in 2 groups of 10, playing home and away fixtures, with the top 3 in each group automatically qualifying for the quarterfinals. Teams finishing 4th and 5th will then compete in a two-legged playoff for the remaining quarterfinal position. A two-leg knockout format will be used to reach the final at the end of May, which would then be staged at a single fixture at a neutral venue. Aaron, that's not a link. That's just WhatsApp information. I'm literally watching. Melissa Reddy is killing it again, man. She's just so smart. He said, there's heaps absolutely wrong and disgusting about the Super League. But imagine promising a new chapter, new chapter for European football whilst ensuring world-class competition and facilities. While this is the best you could do with the branding. And the Super League is literally just the word Super League. This is their logo, right? It just says the Super League, and then it has their logo is just a circle with a diagonal line cutting through it. I could do a much better job from my computer here in London. Wow. Apparently, teams that are excluded from their domestic leagues in case of deciding to come back would have to start in the 5th category of their country. So we'd be in the National League. And to be fair, do you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. I'd have that. They need to be severely flipping punished for this. John Barnett says, if you have not seen it yet, the statement on the European Super League is also available to read on the website of the current team, currently in 7th, and the currently in 9th place in the Premier League. Yes, here we go, Aaron. According to Mohamed Bouhafsi, Bayern, PSG, and Dortmund have refused to join the Super League. All three clubs remain committed to UEFA and the Champions League. I don't think it'll go that far, but apparently, Andrea Agnelli, who is the executive at the top of Juventus, has resigned from the ECA. President Nasser Al-Khelaifi becomes the most powerful operator at UEFA club level. I'm so angry. Wow, Juventus have left the ECA, so the European club body. Guys, I need someone else on here to be able to keep talking through this. Jim White, whom I don't really agree with every now and again. He's a columnist at the Telegraph. He says, bizarre the number of people on Twitter suggesting this joke of a Super League is no different from the Premier League. It is completely different. At no point did the Premier League ever propose to be a closed shop. Relegation and promoted were integral from the start. That's true. Wow. The ECA, which is the European club body, held an emergency meeting this evening. None of the 12 clubs in the ESL proposals responded to invitations to attend. Bayern Munich and PSG did attend. Meeting was chaired by Edwin van der Sar, restated that the agreements reached on Friday regarding Champions League reform should be and were still valid. Yeah. Rome to Madrid via Istanbul on Twitter says, those who pursue greed have no principles. They do not give a shit about people, and it's all about the money. Sadly, I include the owners of a football club that I have supported for over 50 years. And then I can't repeat the word that they used after. David Lynch has said on Twitter, who is he's a freelance football journalist mainly covering Liverpool. He said, and this is the point I raised earlier, guys. I know nobody's to blame for a year of empty stadiums, but I cannot help but feel that between VAR, between that, as in the empty stadiums, VAR, and these constant displays of short-sighted greed, I've started to fall out of love with the sport over the last 12 months. Close the door now. It would destroy the income of the Premier League, Aaron, and it would make the Big Six even more untouchable. No. First of all, actually, Twitter, yes, whilst it might just be filled of, lots of lots of randomers, as you call it, but these are randomers who actually are driving towards the same thing. And actually, I'm not just quoting randomers. I'm quoting journalists and football thinkers and other things like that. People who talk about the philosophy of the game and the morals of the game and things like that. The Anfield Talk, who are a Liverpool channel that I really respect on Twitter, they said these owners did not care when they planned on charging £77 for a ticket, nor did they care when they tried to trademark the term Liverpool, nor did they care when they tried to furlough our staff, and now they don't care. They are fleecing the club for a paycheck. Well, I mean, that's fairly short-sighted. Close the Door Now says, all these folks on Twitter do not support an English club. They're jealous of the Premier League. That is all it is. Well, that's not true, necessarily. What you've got is that, that they aren't just that, because we do have, all of these clubs do have an international fan base. Whether you like it or not, these people do care. You might disagree with them, but they do care. Wow, I can't believe I've been going for almost an hour and a half. Rory Smith, who is probably the finest football reporter that I love listening to. He's the chief soccer correspondent for the New York Times. He said, congratulations to Paris Saint-Germain, Champions League winners 2021, and for Pep in perpetuity, because there's not going to be any other teams that can touch them. Wow. Sky Italia. Sky Italia are reporting that. Well, no, I'm quoting because it's a. It's an American publication, so I was using what his job title was. So Get French Football News via Sky Italia is announcing that UEFA says that every club and player participating in the Super League will be banned from all competitions at both European and international level, including playing for their country. No! And apparently it will also affect the women's game. Yeah, you're right. This actually does look... I don't think I can carry this on much longer. This just gets more and more painful to read. Oh, it's not going to just damage the leagues, it's going to kill them. Remember, in 2019, Klopp said, I hope the Super League will never happen. With the way the Champions League is now running, football has a great product, even with the Europa League. For me, the Champions League is the Super League, in which you do not always end up playing against the same teams. Wow. City aren't even tweeting about what they've done. Every club has come out now and said, every club has come out and saying we're a part of it now, apart from City. Wow. Every club that's founding the Super League have left the ECA, the European Club Association. This is the European football elites let them eat cake moment. There's utter cruelty when there are clubs in Europe's top 5 leagues who are letting go of staff just to keep books balanced. They are doing this better than Marie Antoinette ever did. I'm seething. I'm shaking. No, mate, we need to get relegated. So for those guys, I follow Gary Whitta on Twitter, who is oh it rhymed. Who is a screenwriter, author. He was the scriptwriter of Rogue One, Star Wars, The Book of Eli, Star Wars Rebels, The Walking Dead. Right? He's just tweeted, "My beloved Spurs can't even beat Premier League relegation fodder, but now they want to play Real Madrid and Barcelona every week. What a joke. This will all end in tears." Wow. Juventus expects the Super League to create long-term value for the company and for the football industry as a whole. Bro. Anfield, the Anfield. So right, so National League, right? That means Liverpool would be playing like Willesden. Bro. It's all the it's fuck, right? UEFA state that not every club and player that joins the Super League will be banned from UEFA and FIFA competitions and will be sued 50 to 60 billion each. Forget where we start in if we put in the 5th division. 50 and 60 billion would liquidate every club. Shabak says this will 10 times improve European football entertainment value on a global level. No, it won't. It'll be less teams all playing each other, and it'll get really fucking boring really fucking quickly. We already have the money dropping hard. Nice name. We already have the Champions League, mate. You're not thinking about the small clubs, yeah. Yep, UEFA came out and said it. This is quite funny, this tweet. You should check this out, guys. It's from Pain in the Arsenal. Freddie has said, Freddie Pie says, I've gone from wanting Manchester City to finish off UEFA as an organization to siding with UEFA over a European Super League. What's happening to me? Wolves, we don't need these greedy clubs in the Premier League. Oh. Guys. FIFA have said something. FIFA have said, in view of several media requests and is already stated several times, FIFA wishes to clarify that it stands firm in favor of solidarity in football and an equitable redistribution model which can help develop football as a sport, particularly at a global level, since the development of global football is the primary mission of FIFA. In our view, and in accordance with our statutes, any football competition, whether national, regional, or global, should always reflect the core principles of solidarity, inclusivity, integrity, and equitable financial redistribution. Moreover, the governing bodies of football should employ all lawful, sporting, and diplomatic means to ensure that this remains the case. Against this background, FIFA can only express its disapproval in a closed European breakaway league outside of international footballing structures and which doesn't respect the aforementioned principles. FIFA always stands for unity in world football and calls on all parties involved in heated discussions to engage in calm, constructive, balanced dialogue for the good of the game. And in the spirit of solidarity and fair play, FIFA will, of course, do whatever it needs to do, what is necessary to contribute to a harmonized way forward in the overall interest of football. Massively disapproving. That they just said it. Paul Gorst says, quite impressive how they managed to get the footy to something of an all-time low as a spectacle and then plunge to even further into nonsense. No, Aaron, I've already explained. The governing body of this Super League would be made up of the clubs that have joined it. So there would be no external governing body. There would be no equivalent of FIFA for it. FIFA doesn't touch it. UEFA doesn't touch it. Nothing. It would be those clubs ruling a world only for them, by them, created by them. No, I'm telling you, FIFA are gearing up to go to war against these clubs. Aaron, we're talking about right. Well, Charbacks. I don't know what you're even saying anymore. You're saying we're not in 1898 anymore. No, of course we're not. Aaron, what if they disagree between themselves? Lol. Look, this is it, right? They are. It's like It's like the mafia. It's like the mafia. Only those that know each other and are friends of each other can enter. And everything I'm seeing. Wow. Right. More details from this government tomorrow. Danny Murphy's come out. I don't really like him, but he's come out and spoken sense. For Match of the Day pundit and former Liverpool and Tottenham player Danny Murphy has written in his BBC Sports columns on the proposal for a European Super League. He said, that history, that tradition, all those things that have grown and grown since Liverpool was formed would disappear. I can't do it. I can't. This is unreal. I can't. I'm stunned. Okay, right. So Spirit of Shankly have come out, Aaron. They've said, we are aware of the speculation surrounding a breakaway Super League that has been reported today, Sunday, the 18th of April, 2021. When talk of this happening has occurred over the last few years, SOS have always been opposed to the idea. Today's news was unexpected, but at this point in time, it is mainly speculation. Once an official statement has been made, we will report back. And this was done 4 hours ago, I think. But obviously, there's been a lot that's happened in the last hour. Okay, guys, I don't know how long I can keep going. I am losing my voice. What's my take on restructure for us? Obviously, without FSG. Well, I don't want it to be AFC Wimbledon so that we start again and have to rebuild our entire history. I would want, even if we look, if this is going ahead, it looks like I want us to be severely punished. Points deductions, financial penalties, everything, right? I want us probably even to be put in the 5th level of competition here and made to work up all the way to the top league again. But let me make this very, very clear. I don't want it to be as a new club. I want all of that punishment to force us to remove our ownership. Because I want to keep that club the way it is. It has that long history. It has that love. It has that attention. It has us that care about it. But it wouldn't be the same if it was a new club. Because you can't just take the soul of the old club and put it into the new one. As much as you could replicate everything else with it. Yeah, well, look, if we break away and we never have any plans to return, then yeah, I would be up for a new club. But right now, if we have the chance to be able to do something drastic to save it, I'm up for that. I'm really up for that. But that's no existence to just play in that league on our own. Right. Aaron, I don't even have the voice left. I just wanted to say this as the last thing. Before I think I have to call it a night because I'm losing my voice, guys. It says, this is from Political Theory Other. Make no mistake, this is an idea that could only have been devised by someone who truly hates football to its bones. Who hates football so much that they want to prune it, gut it, dismember it, from the grassroots game to the World Cup. Who finds the very idea of competitive sport offensive, an unhealthy distraction from the main objective, which in a way has always been capitalism's main objective. Unchecked and unquestioned, capital has never merely contented itself with a seat at the table, but will invariably demand the power to make its own rules. This is in large part Oh, it's from this. Right, look. It's from a Guardian opinion piece. Let me post it in the chat. Oh, Aaron, I'm not talking about whether they will sell or not. I'm talking about if they force us into the position I've described, we remove them.
by economic force. We would have to physically remove them. Go and have a read of this piece. It's amazing. I'm reading it now off camera. Yeah. We're at a truly remarkable point here. This is literally the this is the point in which we go, how far are we going to let this sport die before we do something about it? And right now, we are looking at the hangman's noose being put around the people's game. We are watching as fans. We're watching the people's game step up onto that platform above the creaking trapdoor with that hangman's noose around it. And they are about to pull the lever for their own death, for its own death. Mate, it's just... It's hard to not rant as a Marxist. But again, this is literally it. Capital will always do what it needs to protect itself. It's not just happy to be there. It wants dominant control. And right now, relegation, promotion would jeopardize that. I hope that if there is going to be a fight, and where football fans from Bristol City to Manchester United to Liverpool, from Liverpool to Grimsby, from Maidstone and Yeovil to Tottenham Hotspur, to Rapid Vienna. Every single football fan here now has to pledge themselves in a fight to save the working man's game, working woman's game, working person's game. Because right now, this is the closest football has come to its death. And I think we'll have to leave it on that, because I can't talk anymore. I thank you all for coming. This has been one of the longest streams I've done. It's certainly been the most intense one that we've done. This live chat has been absolutely beautiful. Thank you for all of your points of view. Let's just see where this goes. Good night. I wish this was ending on a better note. Oh yeah, I can't, I need to go and have a lie down. I don't know what to do. Good night, everyone.